Okay. All right, everyone. Well set. We got it. We wait for a few minutes for the YouTube to begin. The phone on silent. Okay. All right, everyone. Well set. We got it. I can't see the main page. Just give me a minute. Okay, here we are. How does this work? What's wrong with Zoom? Surely flustered today. I can't see myself on Zoom right now. Oh, there we are. All right. All is wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. And as we begin today, the first thing that I would like to do is to invite, because the topic today is karma. Karma. And I'm actually really even surprised that to pick it up as a topic, we've taken 200 some sessions. And that would only just tell you how important in my list of things to do is karma. So beginning from there, starting from that point as to what even karma is, but I would really want to invite questions from you on karma, because many people are literally scared of the word karma. It thinks that the karma is out there to bite them, that there's a track record of karma and whatever they've done is going to come and bite them, and they don't even know what they've done. So when something bites them and it's like, oh, it must be my previous karma, it just feels like, you know, God is a villain and he's out there like checking, okay, fine, this one punished and that one punished. So to be able to understand karma from the energy perspective, I would like to invite all of you, whatever questions you have about karma, what you think about karma, please keep the chat, running. So that's how it is. But to begin already with this point of how to view karma as energy. Right from the very beginning, so everybody knows by now that I do not come from I do not come from a spiritual background, right? So all of this stuff just started to happen to me. There was nothing that prepared me for this role in what you call a spiritual life. So the only thing that I had to do every single day, I was getting some downloads, what they call as automatic writing. And whatever questions I had about spirituality, about everything else, I would simply keep just asking and keep writing the answers too. And so when even I began and I didn't understand what karma is, one of my first questions was like, what do I know about karma? What do I need to know about karma? How should I even, begin to address all of, I don't know what all karma I must have done. I am clueless about what all karma I've done. And how can I now begin to look at it and then to be able to address it? What do I need to know about karma? And it was so beautiful. It was almost just a 3-line answer. And today I dug up that answer. So I'm actually going to read it out for you from that old register. This was my very first register that I got the answer for in terms of what is karma. Okay. And to be able to understand, I came from an investment banking background. And when this path started for me, I was actually really afraid that, people will come and ask me all kinds of strange questions to which I have no answers. And so I thought maybe I should read the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody at my age was already reading that. Maybe I should read this. Maybe I should read a few spiritual texts. Maybe I should read what other people, other gurus are saying so that I sound a little bit knowledgeable about all of this stuff. And when I sat in guidance, this was the one guidance I got, that you will not buy any book on spirituality. Whatever you need to know, we will give you the answer. We will let you know what you need to know. Not a little less, not a little more. So let's keep it simple. And so from that space, it's been kept very simple all this while. And so from that space, the first answer, what do I need to know about karma? Karma heals. Karma cures. Karma calls. Karma is what you make of things. Don't let it lead you. Let it fall apart from you. Let it fall apart from you. That's all that karma is. That karma heals, karma cures, karma calls. Karma is what you make of things. Don't let it lead you. This is a very important line. Don't let it lead you. Let it fall apart from you. Don't worry about what karma you are creating. Just do the things you have to do. There is no bigger meaning to it. Don't make it look as if there is. I'm going to read this again just because they're such simple lines and they give you all the answers. I think after this, the webinar is pretty much done only. Don't worry about what karma you are creating. Just do the things you have to do. There is no bigger meaning to it. Don't make it look as if there is. You are on a good path. You have nothing to worry about. And that is all that I was told about karma. That is all that I was told about karma. And you know what? Over the years, as things have happened, as I've begun, this was in 2015, 2016, when the journey had just begun. And now as we come over, 8 years, 9 years ahead, and when I look back at it, that answer still serves us. That answer still totally serves us, because now when we look at karma from the energy space, so many times I have been told in the energies that it doesn't matter what action you do. It doesn't matter at all what the action is. The action could be murder. So before we take up that extreme case, even just to look at it, that action, any action that we do, if we are flowing and the action happens through us and we don't put too much of a mind to it. There are so many things we do in a day which happen from that space. We eat from that space. We don't put too much of mind towards it, unless, of course, we are eating 5 gulab jamuns and now we are putting guilt into that place. And that is exactly the place where karma is getting formed. When we just keep doing things, and that's what the answer that I received said, just don't make a big deal out of anything. Do what you have to do and move on. So now when I understand it better, even that starting point, karmanye vadhikaraste, when that phrase, when that verse talks about do what you have to do and don't look at the fruit. Don't put an outcome to what you are doing. Don't worry about what the outcome is going to be. You do what you have to do without putting thought to it. What kinds of thoughts do we normally put? There are so many things in a day that we do without putting thought. And then we say, is this karma also getting stored? Because many of us who come from a place of, oh my God, the karma, I must have done something wrong in some life of mine, and now I am being punished for it. And what is the frequency? We always talk frequencies under everything. Underneath this thought itself, that I'm being punished for something I don't even know anymore. So what is the frequency underneath this? The frequency is of fear, and the frequency is also of helplessness. Because what do we feel when we are being punished for something that we have no clue about? We just feel very helpless. Where did this come from? What did I do? I don't know what all of this is. Why am I getting punished for it? So when we come to any place from a frequency of fear, we are simply creating, now that we understand energy, we are creating fear, and karma has become a tool for creating fear in us. Anything and everything can be a tool. And in this place, the word karma becomes a tool to create fear in us. We don't know what we did and we don't know what we are getting punished for. This must be some bad karma I did in life. It also makes us fear this high frequency that we call as God, because we think that somebody is constantly watching out for us to make mistakes and then keeping an account of those mistakes so that we can be punished at some point in time, 5 lives later, 100 lives later. Well, it takes us away from the concept of a loving God, the God that is all loving, all forgiving. Why would anybody out there be making a book of accounts of what all mistakes that you committed? After all, mistakes are exactly that. They are not meant to be put into the book of accounts. When we also begin to realize that this particular body of ours is just 1%, it's 1% of the total picture. The rest of the picture belongs to our energy. 99% energy and 1% is this body that is experiencing the entire energy through this body form. Our whole life is all about a dozen million experiences. Every single day, so many experiences. And who gets to experience this 1% body? But who gets to create? It's being created from our energy, right? Now that we understand that all of the energy is all about what am I feeling? What am I feeling? That is the place from where I am creating my next moment. So what is actually all of this karma about? The karma, and actually, many of the religions, I don't know much in detail, but I've had some conversations, for example, in Jainism and some other religions, they say that it's not even necessary to do the action. If you've thought the action, the karma has happened. If you've thought the action, the karma has happened. If you've thought something, it is already karma. You don't have to physically do the action. If you've thought of murdering somebody, that murdering karma has already happened. If that is the case, so now look at it, not from the action perspective, because this is also where you didn't take the action, and yet karma got created. And in energy space, when we think about anything, in energy space, when we think about any action, as I constantly remind you people, you and I could be sitting and doing the same action. Let us say there's a feast going on and you and I are both eating what we love, and that would be gulab jamun. So as we sit and eat the gulab jamuns and eat the gulab jamuns, after one or two that you are enjoying yourself, you might continue to enjoy yourself for the third or the fourth gulab jamun. But if I'm sitting and eating the same gulab jamun with you, it might be that after the third gulab jamun, I might feel guilty. I even might feel fearful as to what this gulab jamun is going to do to me. So while the two of us are conducting the same action, what is happening to us underneath it, underneath the same action, we've actually got a different karma being created. The karma that is being created right now is not both the same for you and for me. You are creating karmas of enjoyment because you're really enjoying even that third gulab jamun, the fourth gulab jamun. And what am I doing? I'm creating karma of fear. I'm creating karma of guilt, because underneath, through that tool, through that gulab jamun, which is right now the tool for you and me, you are creating joy from it, and that becomes your energy imprint. And I am creating fear and guilt from it, and that becomes my energy imprint. So it is not as if we carry our actions, but actually we carry the energetic imprint, and that is what karma is. Karma is not about, you do an action and you are totally loving that action. And then from that action, some bad karma is going to be created. When you think in guilt that some bad karma is going to be created, in that moment, the bad karma is created. It is all about the energy that we are receiving, the energy from which we are acting, the energy that we are experiencing, that frequency simply grows a little bit more in our energy field. In the parlance of karma, that karma keeps getting created and keeps getting created more and more for you to experience the next time and the next time. So and here's the most beautiful, amazing thing about everything that is karma. When we think of karma, when we are actually even thinking of this place of karma, when we are thinking of this place of karma, blankness happening. Everything that we are doing, everything that we are collecting with us, karma talks about the concept of time. It's the concept of time through which many lifetimes of karma we have collected. There is a collection from all of the forms that we've taken, all of the forms that we've played, all of the costumes we've donned. And from that place, we understand that karma is through several of the lives that we have taken. This concept of karma, therefore, moves through lives, moves through time, because lives in our understanding happen as a concept of time, one life after another after another. When we begin to understand ourselves as energy, when we begin to operate from that space of energy that we are, we understand that yes, we've collected in our frequencies, we have grown our frequencies. Our energy field has our imprints on it, and those imprints through many different forms, not necessarily, line-wise that one life gets over and the other life happens, but we exist in so many forms, as so many places, as so many things. We exist as everything. And in all of that, I do have a particular energy imprint. I have an energy field which belongs to me, which is the frequency that I keep playing and the frequencies that I keep growing. So whatever energy field I came with, I came in this life, I was already energy. I didn't come from, ground zero. Whatever I was carrying as the energetic imprint has traveled to me. And that is actually what has been creating my life. The family that I was born into, the people I met, the way that things worked out in my life, everything is happening from the energy that we carry. And that energy, whatever it is you came with, your energy chose where you were going to be born. You didn't just get parents out of a black box that, okay, these are going to be your parents. No, whatever your experiences were meant to be, that is the kind of setting, that is the environment that your energy chose to be into, so that you could experience some more of the same experiences. But now, when we come to this place of understanding that we are not just this body, we are energy. And from this place, we begin to change the energy itself. All of these workshops, all of these classes, all of these webinars are all about how easy it is to change your frequency. You can change your frequency of hurt. You can tune into masti. You can change your frequency of fear. You can tune into masti, and simply just like that. So easy it is to move from one frequency to another frequency. Why? Because it's just a frequency. And so let us imagine that through your karma of guilt, you've over 100 million years in your energies, you have collected and collected, and you have done and done things that keep making you feel guilty and more guilty and more guilty. Outside keeps happening that keeps making you sit more and more in the energy of guilt. Oh my God, I did this wrong. Oh my God, that action is wrong. Every action that I seem to do is doing something wrong outside. And you keep sitting in more and more energy of guilt. As you sit in the energy of guilt, but now you recognize that you are simply a frequency at any point in time. And the frequency you are playing in right now is guilt. all the karma that you have accumulated over a gazillion lifetimes, whatever the imprint be in your energies, it's just a frequency. And if it's just a frequency, you can change your channel. In the next moment, you can change your channel. And guess what? When you sit, instead of sitting in the frequency of guilt, when you sit in the frequency of joy and keep making an aware decision, keep making an aware choice of sitting more and more in the frequency of joy, in the frequency of abundance, that energy becomes yours. In a moment, all of that karma of guilt in a moment can be released. Can you pick it up again? Absolutely, because in energy, everything is moment to moment. But just annihilating, destroying this concept in your mind that you are being punished for something that you don't know, and that it is something that you have to constantly be aware of. It is something that you have to shed. It gets shed in a moment. This moment shed, and again, you can pick it up the next moment. But after that, the moment after, if you become aware again, shed it again. It's just a frequency. That's what the answer said so many moons ago. Don't let the karma lead you, just let it fall away from you. And that is what it means to let it fall away from you. It is okay, because the minute you recognize it's just a frequency, you can let it fall away from you. You can pick another frequency, and that is simply a matter of choice. What frequency are you going to sit in? What frequency are you going to shift to? That takes care of all the entire screen, all of your karmas at this moment. Because you know what? Everything being energy, we can just simply shift from one moment to another through this awareness itself, that all is transient, all can move within a moment. The whole life as we know it, it can all be finished in a moment. A new breath, a new birth can happen in a moment. That's all that it takes. A new breath, a new birth is all it takes, is one inhale, and everything can be released in that one moment. So how is it that you think about karma? I'm quite positive that you've been pondering over the word karma, and if you haven't let it fall off you, then definitely these thoughts would be filled with fear, that, oh my God, how can this be over? How can this be let go? What all penance do I have to do to get off of this karma and to change something for me? Breathe easy, because it is as beautiful as changing a television channel from one place to another. It is as easy. You shift your television frequency from one frequency to another. Every time you're watching television, you change it so many times without even giving it a thought. And so even this, all of your karma accumulation, all of it accumulated, can simply be let go in a minute, because all there is the now. There is no past and there is no future when you understand the moment of now. And the moment of now doesn't come when you are thinking of yourself as just this body, but the moment of now is your realization, it's your recognition, when you begin to more and more understand yourself as the vast energy, the source that you are. And from that space, if you are the source and you only came to experience something, even all those things that you did, just the very fact that we are sitting over here means that we've already finished everything that there was to be done, especially on planet Earth. This planet Earth journey where we came to experience duality, we might be judging many people today saying, oh, that one is a murderer, and that one is a liar, and that one is a cheat. We might be judging many, many people. But to understand that if we have come to this place to understand ourselves as energy, which means we've been there, done that, and that part of the journey for us is over. That part of the journey is over. And so those people who are going through that part of the journey right now, there's always this beautiful, example that I was given early on in my days. And it said, all of you are reading the book of life. And one after the other, you keep turning chapters. And you might be on chapter 36, and somebody out there is on chapter 4. And you are judging the person who's on chapter 4, but it's okay. They're reading the same book as you, and they will get there too. So instead of judging, oh, this one's not done that, to be able to understand that if we are here understanding ourselves as energy, definitely we've been there. We've done that already. We've been through all of those experiences. We've been a murderer. We've been a cheat. We've been a thief. And now life has brought us over here to this oneness space where the time has come for us to understand that we are the creator. We are the creator, not just the experiencer. Now we become the creator for our energies. And what karma are we going to create? It has nothing to do with charity, what good you are going to do outside. Because even look at that, when we want to do some charity, where are we doing it from? Many of the times when we want to do charity, we are doing it from a place of that we want the world to know how wonderful we are. We want the world to know how good we are. We want we want to do something from even feeling good inside that, oh, I have some value, I'm worth something. And you create your value for yourself by trying to do something good. Instead of that, and what karma is all of this charity creating? What karma is this charity creating? You wanting to validate yourself through an outside contribution, through an outside giving of something or whatever. What value are you going to create for yourself is not about the outside, but what it is that you are feeling inside. So even all of this charity, which you are doing as something that you want to show to the outside world, it's another face that you have for an outside world. And all of that, what karma is it creating of love? Nah, really not. Whatever it is creating, it is actually a lack of love for the self, because that is when we keep looking outside and want others to think well of us. We want others to think well of us. When we begin to understand ourselves as energy, if I want somebody to think well of me, all that I need to do is give even more love to myself. Because whatever I am holding for me, whatever emotion I'm holding for me, that is the emotion that is going to be projected back at me from all my reflections. So if I think that I want some love, the only way to get some love is to give your own self some love. And that's all there is to it. So even when we look at charity and we think, it was so beautiful when my journey started, and all of, for about a year, I was just sitting by myself, taking all of these guidances every single day, writing and taking guidances for myself, no conversations with anyone, just simply sitting by myself every day and writing more and more journaling. Many of you people who know me from the Expect Miracles program, and I am so heavy on, like, you people, you must journal. It is the biggest gift that we can receive, because it was indeed the biggest gift for me, that I simply kept journaling, and all the answers that I ever needed just kept coming to me and kept coming to me. So as I was journaling, and then after about a year and a half, I was told, okay, now you go and do some workshops. Now you go and do workshops. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what to do in the workshops. But the downloads kept coming as to how the workshop is to be conducted and what all you will teach to people, how you will teach them how to heal themselves, etc., etc. And in those days, I used to have a 2-day or a 3-day workshop, a physical workshop. And I was told all of that. So I finished the first workshop and I was feeling thrilled with myself, because the workshop was amazing. And everybody said, we've never attended a workshop like this. And it's so beautiful. We have all the answers and you've taught us this. So I was just sitting extremely happy. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, on that karma scale, this would be like really top notch, right? I must have made at least 500 kilos of good karma from one workshop. I mean, how can anything match? I've changed people's lives. I've done this, I've done that. Oh, wow, that must account that must account for some great karma. And then it was so fun because when I sat down for guidance and the answer came saying zero. Zero is what you get for doing these workshops. Zero karma. Well, zero good karma is what you get for doing these workshops. And I was totally shattered. And I said, what do you mean? I mean, I'm doing so much good to the society. How can I just have 0 points from this on perspective of good karma, bad karma? And the answer came, the karma doesn't do anything for you. What does something for you is when you look within and you're able to change your own frequency. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that counts. Everything else is just a role. You might be in a role of a mother, a father, a student, a colleague, office boss, CEO, janitor, anything. Everything is just a role, and all that matters, everything that changes your life, it changes your life in the now, it changes your life, whatever it is that you're going to live in the future, it changes your entire energy field. What changes your entire energy field? You're looking within. You're being able to put your finger here and say, what emotion, what am I feeling? And from that space, all of the questions that you have begin to unravel as all of the answers come forward. And there you go. All of the karma that you've created about fear, all of the karma that you've created about anger, all of the karma about injustice, helplessness, everything can be shed in the moment of now as you move to your new place of karma, and that would be the frequency of joy, the frequency of abundance. At all times, be in that place of karma, and that's all that it takes. It only takes a moment of one aware I. Only one moment of one aware I to drop whatever karma is being created in that moment. I constantly remind you people that before you do something, many of us are rushing from one place to another, oh, this has happened and though that has happened and I've got to fight this battle in the court and I've got to do that at home and I've got to do that at work. All of this stuff is happening. And I constantly keep reminding you people that for you to change anything out there, you don't have to run out there. You have to sit inside and firstly clear that slate. If you are running to one place to another place from fear, that karma of fear will only keep creating more of the same. That's all that it is. It will keep creating more of the same. So spend just a couple of minutes asking yourself the question, what am I feeling? And from that space, the minute you come to, if this, because when you sit down and ask yourself, oh, I'm feeling very fearful about this outcome. Okay, then take a look at that outcome and ask yourself, what if this happens? And what if this doesn't happen? And you're asking yourself this question, what if this and what if not, will play out for you the whole gamut of fears that you've got attached to that particular outcome happening or not happening. All of the fears with that outcome as a tool. It's a tool, but it's an outcome that you've made as the tool. And with that tool, you're going on creating fear for yourself. And that is what is collecting in your energy. So at any point in time, to not have a karma out there, what do you need to do? You simply need to make sure that you're able to look within and come from a space of equanimity. Equanimity is all about not having an outcome. And we go back to that line of karmanye vadhikaraste. So when we do not have an outcome attached, but we simply keep doing something, whatever is required of us, we do it. Whether this happens or that happens, as we can do it, however we can flow with it, we simply just flow. That thing will bring its outcomes, and we don't know what those outcomes are. We just only know that whatever we are collecting inside is going to get projected outside in our lives more and more. So it's not everything that we are carrying from 1,000 million lives. Yes, we carry it as an energy imprint. And the only way to find an energy imprint easily is to be able to ask yourself that question, what am I feeling? It will keep giving you answers to what your energy imprint looks like. What is your core frequency? Where is it that you normally tune into? Most of us on earth have come with the core frequency as fear and a secondary one as guilt. And we keep diving between these two frequencies, one to the other. And then we become aware, and then we realize, these are just two channels. We have a choice of 200 channels. We can play any channel that we want. And in that moment begins the release of everything. Okay, coming out to some questions here. Yeah, how Sanchit karma, collective lifetimes karma works in this lifetime. I just answered that, Amrita, as we are dealing with our prarabdha karma in this life. No, as a matter of fact, yeah. So I think you wrote over there that I got the answer. Yes, because we can use very fancy terms. We can use all kinds of terms, and they're even used in energy. You know, there is nuclear energy and there is inertia, even that's energy, but energy stored in a place. And then there is the all kinds of, right now I can't even think, but there is electrical energy, mechanical energy, there is hydroelectric, whatever, and there's so many different kinds of energies. And then we can use fancy terms for everything, right? And even for karma, we have fancy terms. We have the prarabdha, we have the sanchit, but to be able to understand as energy, everything is an imprint in our energy field, and yet it's just a frequency. The imprints are made of various frequencies. That is what we are collecting. When today we sit in guilt over something, we murdered somebody and we sit in guilt over that. As we sit in guilt, we create more guilt, and that's the imprint that our energy will carry. And then as we go into another life, that will play out. It'll probably play out even in this life. We will get to see more guilt through whatever happens, more guilt. And then when we become aware of our energy, then we can simply be aware that in a moment, even if we've collected something for 400 years, we can release it in a moment. Even if we've collected something in 4 million years and it's staying here with us, we can simply change the channel now. Meenal, so if I'm enjoying myself and I'm in the flow of doing something I want to do, I should never think of it as doing anything wrong and feel guilty. You know, with the shoulds and shouldn'ts, as you impose a should on yourself, you should only do right. You should only think this way. Does it work? The word should itself doesn't work because your mind thinks what it thinks. If you are sitting in the frequency of guilt, your thoughts will be of guilt, whether you say that I should think guilt or I shouldn't think guilt. We are talking energy here. We are talking of looking at your emotion and not suppressing that emotion. I should never think I'm doing something wrong. I should never think from guilt. If guilt is within you, it'll show itself up again and again, whether you should think guilt or you shouldn't think guilt. The minute your frequency is tuned into guilt and you are holding guilt, it will make you think guilt thoughts. Your thoughts are a production from your frequency, and you trying to say, I'm going to control my thoughts. I'm going to control 5% of whatever my thoughts are, because I never want to think guilt again. I only want to do what I want to enjoy, and I should never think this way, and I should never think anything wrong. Well, if you're coming from this place, already you are afraid and already you are feeling guilty that, oh, if that happens, then so many people will be pointing at their finger at me being so selfish. How can I just do that? You are telling me I should never think I'm wrong, but so many people will remind me. You're already afraid. You haven't looked within. You're simply looking at an action and saying, I shouldn't do this and I should not think, even thinking and not thinking, because you are not the one that is thinking. You think that you are thinking. However, your thoughts are being created from the place of the frequency that you are sitting in. Your mind is a canvas on which your thoughts show up. You think you created your thoughts, but no, the frequency that you are sitting in is creating your thoughts. Your mind is that empty canvas, that television screen where your thoughts can keep showing up and you think that you are thinking. So when we begin to look at the energy, the only question I would want that you can think, hopefully you can think, is what am I feeling? When you catch on to that question, what am I feeling? Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm supposed to think that I'm only doing the right thing. I'm not supposed to feel guilty. Now you're already judging yourself and you'll come to that place. What will happen? What will the outside reflections look like? The outside reflections are going to judge you even more. And as they judge you even more, you're going to be afraid of their judgment. So all of this is coming from a place of judgment of the self, of the judgment of whatever I do. How can I just be selfish? How can I do whatever I feel like doing and never feel that I'm doing anything wrong? When you come from a place of equanimity, when you come from a place of observing your emotion, you begin to work on your emotion first rather than on the action. And that's what we just spoke about 10 minutes ago, where I said, I normally tell to people that before jumping, even before picking up a phone call, can you, for a minute, give yourself that question, as I'm going to pick up this phone call, which energy am I operating from? What am I feeling? Where are my thoughts going to be created from is going to be known to you if you know what frequency you are currently operating from. So as you operate from the frequency of judgment, that phone call will go in judgments for sure. You will create some judgments, but outside is going to show some judgments back at you. So when you're looking at, can I do nothing wrong? When you come from a place of equanimity, that is the truth. You can do nothing wrong because the place of equanimity is away from all the outcomes. This should happen, that should happen, are the outcomes where we put our fingers on. And when we begin to come from the place of equanimity, the higher intelligence, the universal intelligence that we are tuning into now, because now we begin to think of ourselves as energy. What is energy? It's the source. It's this place of creation of everything in your life. And then you begin to operate from that space of the creator. And then in that place, you have no judgment of right and wrong. And so whatever you do, no karma is created. No karma is created because you are not sitting in a place as somebody who's going to experience the punishments of that karma. You are sitting in a place of the creator. And the creator creates, the creator destroys, the creator does whatever is needed to be part of that plan without judgment. Though you have explained to change channel, but again, I'm asking for changing channels, frequencies, and thoughts. Can you give some practical example? Oh, yeah. I can give a practical example that if you are sitting extremely happy and a friend of yours comes to you and they're feeling very sad, they've just had a death in the family, what will you do? You'll also start to feel sad. You'll feel sad for them. Why? Because you just changed your channel. You changed your channel from being a happy channel. You were in the frequency of joy and you just changed your channel to sadness channel. And now when you are aware and somebody comes and tells you that something happened and, in their family, there is a death, you as an aware self will no longer look outside. You will simply ask yourself that question, and what am I feeling? And if you're feeling sad, you will allow yourself to feel sad for about a minute or two or whatever it takes, because you're aware that sadness doesn't need to go into 100 places. It doesn't need to go through 100 days. You can feel that entire experience in a few moments and then move your frequency back to the frequency of your choice. That's what we call changing the channel. That how on a television, you can watch, you can watch on a frequency, you can watch some program, but whenever you are done with watching that program, you can pick up your remote and change your channel. And that's who we are. We work on frequencies. We are energy. We are not just this body. We are not just this thought. We are not just this emotion. We are the entire, we are the entire energy field that is being expressed through us, except that we consider ourselves to be limited as a body. And when you begin to see yourself as energy, and then you think, oh my God, I'm just any energy on any day, then you can choose the energy that you wish to play in. So I tell people to tune into the frequency of Meenal. I have a 13-minute meditation. You are asking for whether I've told 100 times. I've actually told this 100 times. You can go to my YouTube channel. There is a frequency of tuning into the frequency of Meenal meditation. It's for about 13 minutes. It's in Hindi and it's in English. It's for free. You can play that. And that becomes a really easy way for you to tune your channel into abundance, into masti and joy. Because the frequency of Meenal, mind you, this is the body. This is the body of Meenal, but the energy source from where this Meenal experiences everything, that energy source is the frequency of Meenal. And that's the one that I'm offering. That is the one that I'm saying you can also tune into that frequency, because it's not just my frequency. It's open, it's energy, it's for everyone. Anybody can tune into that frequency. And what will they receive? They will also begin to receive what is there in that frequency. That frequency plays programs of joy, abundance, masti. You will also start to receive those frequencies and those programs of joy, abundance, and masti. I used to think and listen from people that your karma play in your life, and for your children, they're suffering because of parents' karma. It's grace to listen to such an explanation. Yes, thankfully, you come from a place of fear, because now you're not just afraid of the word karma for yourself, but even your children, your grandchildren, who knows what all you will make as a tool for your fear. So when you begin to sit in your understanding of energy, we are energy, even the Atman that we talk about, it is nothing but energy, because when you look at all the properties of Atman, that it doesn't get destroyed, it cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed, goes from body to body. And that's all the understandings about energy in a science class, that, energy cannot be created, energy cannot be destroyed, energy transforms from one place to another in one form or another. And that's what the Atman is. Atman is our energy field. And when we begin to look at ourselves as a science project, everything begins to make sense. All of the logic that whatever I'm transmitting, whatever is my frequency, whatever I'm transmitting, the universe is not a thinking universe. The universe is simply a reflecting universe. They won't think, oh, poor you've been through so many bad things, let us give you a good experience. No, the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful, everything is happening from your own energy field. And so how beautiful it is that the minute we recognize and begin to recognize our energy field, we can take in more beautiful and more beautiful without feeling guilty. That we can release. If we feel guilty, how can we just only have the good things? Oh, well, whatever is in our energies will show up. When it shows up, it gives us an opportunity to be able to release and to be able to move our frequency just a little bit more. Can you repeat the name of the YouTube name you said of frequency? There is a meditation of 13 minutes, which is called Tuning into the Frequency of Meenal. The channel that we have for all of these webinars is called MPFY, My Prayer for You, the first initial, digits of that, MPFY. So MPFY fun is the name of our YouTube channel on which you will find all of these. But if you go to MPFY Fun, you will find in Hindi and in English these two meditations, which are tuning into the frequency of Meenal. If any of you have done my Expect Miracles program, then it is one of the requisites, the prerequisites, that you begin to tune into this frequency. Even before you start the program, you tune into the frequency of Meenal. As you do the positivity process, you release some of your frequencies and you tune into the frequency of Meenal. It's a 13-minute meditation and you will find it there. The more I want to release a frequency, the more it comes back. How to deal with this? Oh, well, it's very simple. If you experience more and more of anger, it's only because you haven't firstly accepted that anger is just a frequency and it's your frequency. When the finger is on the outside and it hasn't come back within, the same experiences will keep coming back at more and more intensity. When you have understood that the finger has to be coming back here within, the finger has to be coming back here within, no matter what's happening outside. Everyone is simply reflecting your energy back at you. There is nobody else except mirrors and mirrors. But when they have faces, we kind of get lost in those faces and think, oh, they are the ones who are creating this problem for me. I'm sitting in the frequency of anger. I'm sitting in the frequency of hurt because of them. And I constantly talk about this every day, in and out, saying that it's not them that are causing this frequency to show up for you. It is your frequency that is creating these stories outside. It is your frequency that wants to be a participant in these stories. And so some actor or another will keep coming over there to create the same for you when work remains with it. So when the same frequency keeps coming back, understand that you have not put the finger fully back within. You're not dealing of it as just a frequency. It's just a frequency. You know, I keep tuning my television to Sony, but Star World, every time I put on the television, you know, Star World comes back again. So what will you do? You will cry, you will stomp out of the room, or you will simply pick up the remote and change your channel. I think that the changing of the channel would be the easiest thing to do out of all of the options available. That it's just a channel. So what? If Sony played or if Star World played for a minute and I don't want to watch them, it's okay. I have the remote in my hand. It's my frequency that's playing and I can change it. So what do I do if 30 times it's coming over again? Will I give you another very sexy tool to be dealing with it? This is as sexy as the tool gets. You're in a frequency, change your bloody channel. You're in a frequency, change your bloody channel. That's how it operates. If you're operating a television, you would do the same thing. You wouldn't be crying and bawling for 2 days saying, why do I keep changing the channel? Why does Star World keep playing? Why does this happen? You won't go into that. No, you'll just simply change your frequency because it's a frequency and you know it. Well, know this too, that this too is just your frequency. If the work is not done, it'll show up. If the work is not fully done, it'll show up. Keep doing the releases again and again, and the finger will come here more and more. And when it shows up the next time, observe, is it going up? That means the finger is out. Or has the level, let's say you were sitting in anger and the same person creates more anger, observe the level of anger. If the level of anger has come down, pat yourself on the back. Good job, because you've managed to let go of your anger a little bit, but that fellow is still showing you. He's showing you your report card that you already did some good job and it's already become less, but he's also showing you your report card that the work still remains on you. How to feel abundance. We can feel joy and other emotions, but how to feel abundance. I have a webinar on abundance. You can watch that. I'm not saying that you'll feel it by watching the webinar, but at least to understand how will you feel abundance when you begin to sit more and more in the frequency of Meenal. Abundance is so much a part of this frequency that you will feel abundance. What is the abundance all about? It tells you, there is this one thought in your heart that tells you, I am taken care of. I am taken care of. When everything outside is erupting and it's not making sense and you are sitting in so much confusion, anything, however, you can always bring yourself this one thought. No matter what is happening, the universe is playing in my favor. Again, that's also from the frequency of abundance. And that is why we give you these 4 lines. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. And the universe is playing in my favor. It's a reminder for you that the universe is indeed playing in your favor. Because most of the times, what do? We sit in mistrust. We sit in frequencies of fear. We sit in frequencies of mistrust. And no matter what's happening outside, our main takeaway is, oh my God, I've got to do something because who else will? I've got to do something to save myself. I've got to do something to protect myself. I've got to do something to further myself. I've got to do something to make myself XYZ. Whatever it is, through all of this, you are fighting the world alone and the universe is opposing you. From that place, from that program of lack that everybody outside is on the opposite side, begin to sit and begin to remind yourself, I take energy from Meenal and I'm taken care of. The universe is playing in my favor. And that when one day, no matter what is happening outside, and you're able to sit in this and say, I get it. I'm not feeling perturbed. I'm not feeling stressed. I'm not feeling, this is happening outside, but inside me is calm. That calm is from the space where you know that you are taken care of. That is abundance. It's a beautiful feeling. And you will get it soon because the frequency of Meenal has that bhar bhar ke. So you will get it too. Wonderful. And individuals strive to give selflessly and joyfully to the funds of a religious organization. And it's said that the money you earn, and when you give a certain amount of that to the religious organization, then the money becomes pure and your ego is destroyed, and that is good karma. Any thoughts over it? Money is simply a tool. It's a tool that is provided to us on this earth. Giving that money, receiving that money, asking for that money, stealing that money, religious organization, unreligious organization, the money that is pure, the money that is impure, your ego is destroyed. Oh, wow. In your one question, I just see so many judgments that I'm just laughing. And all of these judgments, they are limiting judgments. We have to judge each time because we came to earth to judge. So even when I say to this to myself that the universe is playing in my favor, that is a judgment on the universe, but it's a program, it's a belief that expands your trust. When you look at this, when you give selflessly, I don't know what that word selfless is, because if there is nothing in the universe but the self, I don't know how you will ever lose the self. So when you give selflessly, what does it mean? Yes, I understand what you are trying to say, but even to think that you can do anything selflessly, it's a misnomer, because in everything yourself is involved, because yourself is all there is. The rest of the universe in your universe is a mirror to you. It's just your reflection. And the only thing that is there in your universe is yourself your energy field, your creation. So when you give selflessly, let's forget that word, but you give joyfully to the funds, to a religious, non-religious, you give to your wife, you give to your husband, you give to your children, you give to anybody, but you give joyfully. As you give joyfully, what energy are you creating? You are creating joy. That's it. It doesn't matter who you give this money to, because you know what? As I keep telling people with this example, I have this in one hand of mine, and then I have given to this other hand of mine. And this has moved from this hand to this hand, and it has moved from this hand to this hand. As I move from one hand to the other, I'm trying to create all kinds of emotions. It's just one thing moving from one hand of mine to another hand of mine. When you begin to look at yourself as energy, you're not just this body. The one that you give to is you. The one that you take from is you. The one that you steal from is you. The one that you donate to is you. There is no other. However, since you're sitting so much in the body and you give joyfully, well, then that's the frequency you created, irrespective of who you gave to. You gave joyfully to a religious organization, and then your wife came and asked you for money for shopping. And then you got angry with her because she doesn't need to buy all of that stuff that she wants to buy. And so as she is coming to you and saying, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy that, and now you give to her, you give her half the money only, but you give to her from a place of anger and resentment. Well, that money became a tool for joy. This money, as it went from one hand to another, remember this one to another, this now became a place for you to experience your resentment, your anger. Whose energy field is all of this getting accumulated in? That joy went to your energy field. And in the next moment, this anger also went as your energy field, your imprint, your energetic imprint. When you give a certain amount of that to the religious organization, again, when you give that amount, I'm thinking that you're saying that amount that belongs to you, and now you're giving to another. I constantly remind people that money is something that plays here on earth. It doesn't belong. If you just were to keep it with you and not to do anything with it, but just to keep keeping it because it belongs to you, you wouldn't have any groceries, you wouldn't be living another day. So the money has come from one place, to go to another place, to keep circulating. But as it circulates, it creates emotions. I see the one who's written something over here. I think you are in my Expect Miracles program, and then there's a whole assignment on money, and you will get to see a little bit more about that. I also have webinars, and there's a webinar on asking, giving, receiving, blah, blah, blah. I will, the money finds its way. It's the most amazing tool for creating emotions. And so now you say that the part of money that belongs to you, the only money that belongs to you is the one that you carried with you in the womb. When you came out of your mom's womb, whatever you carried with you, all of that money is yours. And that is what you will be taking back with you. If you came with nothing, well, that's what you will be taking back with you. However, those energetic impressions that you carried, suitcase bhar bhar ke, you carried many of them, those you brought here, you are growing many of them. Whatever you are going to create as your energetic impression, and you keep making more of those through money, without money, whatever becomes the tool for you. What emotions you create are your energetic imprints. Those you will carry back in the suitcase with you. Then the money becomes pure. The minute the money comes out, it moves through so many hands. I have no idea what pure money means. I have no idea. Because according to me, when people ask me like, oh, is this pure gold when I'm wearing something? And I always tell them, no, it's pure brass. It's pure. Everything is pure. So I don't understand what exactly. And money, if you're talking about purity, I don't know if you've been sanitizing it or how are you making it pure. I don't understand that part either. And your ego is destroyed. Oh, well, it'll be the last thing to happen. So a last story that we tell today, and that would be, many years ago when I also came from the investment banking space, and I thought that my ego needs to be destroyed. Somebody told me, if your ego doesn't get destroyed, your spiritual journey doesn't move forward. And so with Maharona Dhona, I sat one day in my, puja space, in my temple space, and I begged and begged to Shiva, saying that please, 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 I believe that this ego has to be destroyed. And if the ego isn't destroyed, then, I won't be able to move forward on my path. And, I didn't even know that ego was such a bad thing. And now I just find out that on the spiritual practice, this ego is such a bad thing. I was the investment banker. I had like a massive ego. I was so successful. I was so everything that I had a massive ego, and I was very proud of myself. So people said, no, this pride, this ego, that will destroy your spiritual journey. So you have to shed that. So I was like, okay, I'm totally unaware of all of this. So let me pray. So I prayed one night to Shiva, roar okay. And I told him, please, 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 tomorrow when I wake up, I surrender my ego to you. I surrender my ego to you. Tomorrow when I wake up, you make sure that I don't have ego left. I want it to be destroyed overnight. And I went off to sleep. And then just about an hour later, it was close to midnight, and somebody from Delhi called me. And they said, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm being told in guidance to wake you up. So I was like, okay, okay, I'm up now. What is to be done? And they said, no, I don't know. I was just told to wake you up. I said, okay. She said, okay, what were you doing before you slept? I was crying because I was trying to give away my ego. And then, I never knew ego was such a bad thing, and then it has to be destroyed, and nobody ever told me. And from that space, I went off to sleep crying. And she says, I don't know about anything else, but you please take this intent back. You please take this intent back that your ego has to be destroyed. I don't know why, but I think I've been woken up. I've been told to wake you up for this reason. So I said, okay, fine. All right, I take this intent back. I take this desire back that my ego should be destroyed. And she said, figure out tomorrow, ask in your guidance, and the answer will come as to why I was being told to do this for you. Let me just silence everybody. Okay. Arundhati, yeah, mute. Okay. All right. And so as it happened, I got up the next morning and I was still, kind of thinking about what happened yesterday. So I sat for guidance. And in guidance, I was told that what is your ego? In this life, your identity is your ego. Because the minute your last breath is done, you're simply the body. Where is the ego? Nothing. So your ego is just one with the identity, and you identify your body through that ego. So your body, your identity is your ego. If you wished for the ego to be destroyed, we would have to kill you last night. It would have to be that you would die, because that is the only place how the ego can be destroyed. So, and I didn't realize, but my intents, because they come from so much abundance, my intents were so strong that if I slept with that ego has to be destroyed, ego has to be destroyed, well, I would have died that night, is what. So they had to wake me up and to say, please take back this thing that you're asking for us to do. And so for the ego to be destroyed. And then so I said, okay, but why do these spiritual, people talk about ego being destroyed? And the answer came that the ego doesn't have to be destroyed. It has to be expanded. Accept everything, reject nothing. That is the path. On the path of accepting everything, how can you reject your ego? You can't reject your ego. The path forward is to accept everything. So I didn't understand it much. So I was told this next step. You know how your ego, your pride is all about what you do, the good things that you've done, the things that you're proud of. And you say, oh, that is where your ego is. That's where your pride is. And you feel good about it, except that, now you want your ego to be destroyed because spirituality says, no, spirituality says that it's our interpretation of that spirituality. However, if that's the thought that we are sitting with, as we begin to expand our ego, what will happen? For example, when the mother is doing something and then she's proud of whatever she's doing, but then she has two children. And then those two children, when they do something, she's not just proud of what she did, but she's also way more proud of what they are doing. And what has just happened? The ego has expanded. The ego has expanded from 1 to 3. Now, if you can take this concept and be the mother, be the father for the universe, and be happy with whatever anybody, everybody is achieving, that would be expansion of your ego, not rejection of ego, not destruction of ego. All we need to do is simply expand our ego. And what will happen when that ego expands? All of these other frequencies, oh, he has that much and I don't, the frequency of lack. Oh, he got that, but I didn't, the frequency of jealousy, the frequency of resentment, the frequency of, the have-nots, basically. All of those frequencies will be at bay, and you will be able to experience more and more joy, because no matter what somebody achieves, no matter what somebody gets, you are going to be able to find joyfulness in you from everything that you see outside of you. So in that way, we expand the ego. All right, done with that story. We are not here. We are not here to kill our ego. Definitely not here to kill our ego. We are only here to enjoy our ego. Enjoy, just enjoy. When we are suffering from health issues, we are told it's your karma dosh. And when you are told it's your karma dosh, how does it make you feel? Give me that answer. When you are told it's karma dosh, what is the question I'm asking you? Remember this question? I've talked about it 100 times. I'm talking about it again. When you hear from somebody that it's your karma dosh, how does it make you feel? And you write, it makes you feel sad. Guess what? Your sadness frequency has come to be played through those words, karma dosh. That's all. It's your sadness. Pay attention to your frequency and you will have the answer to everything. What does karma dosh mean to me? What does karma dosh mean to you? First of all, dosh only doesn't mean anything to me. There is no dosh. Everything is behosh. All is wonderful. There is no dosh only. Whatever we are holding in our frequency might be playing out. And when something is playing out, how do we even begin to understand that? I tell people so many different ways. You talk to your body, you talk to yourself, you give love to your body, and then you ask, what is this condition here to teach me? You also take energy from, so many people, so many different things get better. Not all, but sometimes that this frequency, when it comes to you, it brings with it the whole healings. So many people get better when, all of their experiences as they are getting over. Your experience of sadness, when it is over, this karma dosh will disappear. So that is how frequencies work. The manifestations in the body could be through a disease, could be through anything. The manifestations outside could be relationship upheavals. The manifestations through money should be, this transacting, this take and give of money. So many different ways that all of these manifestations happen in our life on a daily basis, but everything is happening from your energy space. Meenalji, when we provide listening, when we are listening to someone and we start judging their relations or reasons why they're in trouble, are we entering into those frequencies? You are in judgment. You are in judgment of whatever it is. So firstly, before giving advice to somebody or listening to somebody, that even that listening that is happening, it's amazing. Because through that listening, you can see, if only you ask yourself the question, what am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling judgments about this person galore. Then you know what? There is also something called, I talk about it all the time, there's a wholeness tool. I am this and I am that too. So you are this, the one that you are here, the one that is judging that one, but you're also the one that is being judged. So those properties that you are thinking about, oh, he's such an idiot, that's why this, he's such an ass, that's why that. You are all of those, except that in this moment you are sitting and judging outside. So bring the finger back within and accept that you are this and you are that too. And then that will make for some of your judgments releasing. And as some of your judgments release towards the outside, it's not important. But as some of your judgments release towards the outside, they automatically release for the self too. And when judgments release for the self, you begin to experience more and more love for yourself unconditionally. As you experience more and more love for yourself unconditionally, the more will get reflected back at you from the outside. Because the universe, their job remains the same. Whatever you are, reflection right back at you. Shweta wants to say something, just a second. Devang says, even being in silence is judged as karma by the others. And I will ask you this question. And when it is being judged as karma by the others, Devang, what are you feeling? When others judge your silence as karma, what are you feeling? You can write your answer, because it doesn't matter what that fellow is judging me and that fellow is judging me and that fellow is doing this and I'm trying to be silent and they are judging me. And if you are feeling helpless, that's your frequency that has come to play through this outside event of others judging you for your silence. That is the event, but the frequency of helplessness belongs to you. And that has come to play. Now you can release that. Yeah, Shweta, you want to say something? Go ahead, please.
Hi, Meenal.
Hi.
Meenal, आपसे जो कुछ भी अभी तक सीखा है, इतना जैसे I am taken care of, I am awesome, इतनी सारी आपकी टैगलाइंस हैं, मुझे ये बोलना था कि अब ना उसको जीना आ गया है, तो इतना समझ जो एक्सपीरियंस होते हैं, मतलब मुझे वर्ड्स नहीं है कि मैं कैसे एक्सप्रेस करूं. मैंने मणि को बोला कि जो मेरे मन से निकलवाना है वो निकलवा दीजिए. मीनल को कुछ बोलना है, बहुत दिनों से फील आ रहा था, तो बस एक ही बात कहनी कि मेरे पास वर्ड्स नहीं है कि आपको मैं क्या बोलूं, क्या कैसे थैंक यू बोलूं, कैसे ग्रेटिट्यूड एक्सप्रेस करूं. बट इट्स रियली मिरेकल. What expect miracle? It is really miracle. Every day experience is so amazing. चाहे वो sadness के भी क्यों ना हो, but it is amazing. क्योंकि है उसके भी पीछे कुछ है. I can't say. है, बहुत ही amazing है. Thank you so much, Meena.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It gives me so much of joy to be hearing this, especially from you, Shweta. You know, तुम्हारी जिंदगी जिस तरीके से यूं चली है और उसके बाद तुमको उस जिंदगी में जीना आ रहा है, उस जिंदगी को गले लगाना आ रहा है, that is just such a beautiful gift that you give to me. मतलब it's not about a gift to you, it's a gift to me that I feel so honored that I was able to do something to make you feel so good. Thank you so much for this sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. All right. Okay. So, all right, wonderful. Okay, I think we are done with this. We can move to the Nishchint Sharma. Have you raised your hand?
Yes, Hanji.
Okay, Hanji, बोलिए.
मैं यही कहना चाहती थी कि श्वेता ने जो बोल दिया, पता नहीं मैं पिछले साल भर से यही बोलने का सोच रही थी, पर मैं वही चीज है कि वर्ड्स नहीं थे मेरे पास कहने के लिए. मैं कैसे कहूँ, क्या कहूँ, कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा था। इसने थैंक यू श्वेता, तूने मेरे मन की बात को समझ के इतनी अच्छी तरह से बता दिया। थैंक यू मीनल, मेरी जिंदगी को किस जगह से उठाकर कहाँ तक पहुंचा दिया आप जानती हैं बड़ी अच्छी तरह से। और मैं आपका, जब से मैंने आपका किया है, शायद ही कोई दिन इंग्लिश का या हिंदी का गया हो जो मैंने आपको देखकर आपसे एनर्जी ना ली हो। हर बार मैं आपको, चाहे समझ में इंग्लिश नहीं आती है, पर फिर भी आपकी एनर्जी लेने के लिए मैं आपको देखती ही
बस वही है,
देखती हूँ।
शब्दों के कोई मायने ही नहीं है, सिर्फ ऊर्जा के ही मायने हैं। इसीलिए शब्द समझ में आए ना आए कोई मतलब ही नहीं है।
फिर मैं ये सोचती हूँ कि ये संगे मरमर की मूर्ति से शब्द कैसे मोतियों की तरह बहते चले जाते हैं। मैं उनको देखती रहती हूँ। मूर्ति तो संगे मरमर की है, वो तो बोल नहीं सकती, पर ये जो है इतने मोती बिखेरती है, इतने मोती सबकी जीवन में मोतियों से भर ही दिया है। जितने भी तुम्हारे कांटेक्ट में आए हैं मीनल,
थैंक यू।
तो क्या कहूँ, मीनल माँ कहूँ या मीनल बेटी कहूँ, क्या कहूँ,
फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता। ये तो भी वो भी सब कुछ ही, तो क्या
सब कुछ ही है। कुछ थैंक यू मीनल, थैंक यू मीनल,
थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग। Wonderful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Okay. And Yoga wants to discuss something. Okay, Yoga. I don't know Yoga. There is something by the name Yoga.
Yes, I am.
Hi, tell us. What is it you want to discuss, Bachcha?
How are you?
I'm always Donatan.
So, as I told Mitali ji is my guide, as I told her in the beginning that this is for the first time I'm doing such a thing, you know. I mean, I've heard about it, read about it, but this is the first time experience पहली बार हो रहा है. But we are into Jainism, तो हम लोग हर चीज को कर्मा की थ्योरी से रिलेट करके मतलब वहीं पे forgive forget वाला कंडीशन करते हैं. अभी मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि मेरे साथ कुछ ऐसा हुआ है कि I want to answer a group of people, okay? If I don't answer also, it is fine. I can forget and forgive. But here, मुझे बहुत challenge लग रहा है because it is with me and my friends. Somebody has just raised a doubt on us. Raised मतलब काफी गलत तरीके से हमें प्रोजेक्ट किया है सोसाइटी में. तो now my question to you is, should I answer? Should I not answer? पहला क्वेश्चन. दूसरा ये क्वेश्चन अराइज इसलिए हुआ कि शायद मैं एब्रप्टली आंसर कर भी देती, मेरा राइटअप भी उसके लिए रेडी है, लेकिन मैं आपके एक मतलब जब ये सेशंस होते ना, मैं एक में एंटर की तो वहां एक लेडी ने शेयर किया था कि मेरी फ्रेंड ने मेरे साथ बहुत बुरा किया और मैंने उसके साथ वापस रिटर्न में बुरा किया ताकि मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगे. एंड देन यू टोल्ड कि आपने आपके साथ ही बुरा किया है आफ्टर डूइंग टेकिंग दैट रिवेंज, यू नो. So this was, I thought कि I should ask because me and my husband, we both were not getting the answer whether we should or we should not. We just should remain silent and pass it. मतलब ये as a होता रहता है करके let go कर दें या उसे आंसर
तो होता नहीं है, let go तो होता नहीं, ओके? क्योंकि तुमने ऑलरेडी जो कुछ भी तुम्हारे साथ हुआ, किसी ने तुम्हारे साथ किया, किसी ने तुम्हारे साथ किया. उंगली किस पे है? किसी
राइट,
किसी पे है कि किसी ने तुम्हारे साथ किया. ओके. एनर्जी में मैं क्या पूछूंगी सबसे पहले कि तुम्हें क्या महसूस हुआ जब किसी ने तुम्हारे साथ कुछ किया? तो क्या महसूस हुआ?
उस वक्त लगा कि नो, वी आर प्रोजेक्टेड इन अ रॉन्ग मैनर एंड दिस इज नॉट हाउ इट शुड बी.
हर्ट फील हुआ?
एग्जैक्टली, क्योंकि दिस इज फॉर अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल.
हर्ट फील हुआ? जस्ट अ सेकंड, आई एम स्टोरी में ना, स्टोरी में मैं जाती नहीं.
ओके, हाँ,
तुमने पूरी स्टोरी सुना दी और स्टोरी के बाद तुम्हारा ये क्वेश्चन है कि हमको क्या करना चाहिए, हमें एक्शन कौन सा करना चाहिए.
yes.
हमें एक्शन ये करना चाहिए या एक्शन वो करना चाहिए? हमें गुलाब जामुन खाने चाहिए कि गुलाब जामुन नहीं खाने चाहिए?
राइट.
ये सवाल का जवाब मैंने दिया ऑलरेडी. क्या दिया मैंने, आप मुझे बताएं. मैंने शुरुआत में ही कि मैं जब गुलाब जामुन खा रही हूँ तो मैं कौन से ख्याल से खा रही हूँ, एनर्जी वहां से बनती है. तो आप मुझे बताएं कि आप तो पूरा, आपका पूरा की पूरा जो फोकस है वो भी एक्शन पे है कि मुझे एक्शन करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए। मैं बता दूं कि आप कौन सी फ्रीक्वेंसी में अभी बैठे हुए हैं, हर्ट की फ्रीक्वेंसी में,
राइट
की फ्रीक्वेंसी में बैठे हुए हैं। आपने अपनी फ्रीक्वेंसी तो देखी नहीं, क्योंकि अब तो उंगली बाहर की तरफ है कि उसने मुझे हर्ट किया,
हाँ
जबकि मैं 50,000 बार सिर्फ ये बोलती हूँ कि उसने हर्ट किया नहीं, उसने तुम्हारी जो हर्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी है
वो
उसको
एक्टिवेट
दिखलाया, उसको दिखलाया। वो फ्रीक्वेंसी किसकी है?
हमारी है।
उसको रिलीज कौन करेगा? पड़ोसी?
नहीं, हम खुद रिलीज करेंगे।
जब आप उसको रिलीज करेंगे,
हम्म।
जो होना है ना, जो मैनिफेस्ट हो गया,
हम्म।
वो मैनिफेस्ट हुआ, वो किसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी से मैनिफेस्ट हुआ?
मेरी फ्रीक्वेंसी से।
वो आपकी फ्रीक्वेंसी से मैनिफेस्ट हुआ।
यस।
उसको आपने रोल दिया ये,
हम्म।
उसको आपने रोल दिया ये कि तू आके और हमें ये सब दिखलाना, ताकि हमारे को हमारी हर्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी और बढ़ाने को मिले।
राइट।
और उसने आके बढ़ा दी, तो आपकी उंगली उसकी तरफ है तो कि तूने दिया। उसने दिया नहीं, उसने बढ़ाया
हमने
क्योंकि
लिया।
आपकी एनर्जी में ऑलरेडी ये था।
राइट।
वो बाहर हो गया, वो और प्रत्यक्ष हो गया, और उसके
हम्म।
प्रत्यक्ष, उसके मैनिफेस्ट होने में, उसके
हम्म।
मैनिफेस्ट होने में आपने, क्योंकि हम अनअवेयर में यही करते हैं, अनअवेयर में
हमने बहुत बड़ा
हम पूरे
योगदान दिया।
टाइम वो ही फ्रीक्वेंसी और बढ़ाते चले।
बढ़ाते जाते।
ओके, तो आपने वो फ्रीक्वेंसी और बढ़ा ली। लेकिन अब आप आके पहुंच गई इस अवेयर प्रोग्राम के ऊपर। यहाँ पे आपको दिखलाया जा रहा है कि ये तो आप ही की फ्रीक्वेंसी है। आप उसको लिखें या ना लिखें, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। जिसमें आपको शांति मिले आप वो ही कर जाएं, जिसमें आपको खुशी महसूस हो आप वो कर जाएं। आप तो खुशी से कर जाएं, आप खुशी से कर जाएं। प्लीज अंडरलाइन नोट देखिए, आप खुशी से कर जाएं, ना कि हर्ट से।
राइट।
आप पहले अपने आप के हर्ट को रिलीज करें, आप हर्ट को रिलीज करें और उसको थैंक यू करें। एक मैं शुक्राना का बार बार सबको बतलाती हूँ कि जिसने आके आपके अंदर क्या क्या कचरा भरा हुआ है वो दिखलाया, ताकि आप उस कचरे को साफ कर सकें। वो जो आपको कचरा दिखला रहा है उसका थैंक यू करिए कि आपने मुझे मेरे भीतर पड़ा हुआ कचरा दिखलाया, उसके लिए शुक्राना। और आप क्या कर रही हैं? उसने मेरे भीतर पड़ा हुआ कचरा नहीं दिखलाया, उसने तो मुझे कचरे में डाला, उसने नहीं डाला। ओके, एक्शन के तौर पे आपको जो मैं तो कभी कुछ बोलती नहीं ये सही है ये गलत है, सब सही है, क्योंकि जिस फ्रीक्वेंसी में बैठ के किया जाएगा वही फ्रीक्वेंसी और ज्यादा किस में बनेगी, उसमें नहीं। उसका तो एक्सपीरियंस जो भी है वो है, वो जो भी है उसके जो एक्सपीरियंस बन रहे हैं वो बन रहे हैं, जहां से बन रहे हैं वो उनकी जिंदगी है। उनकी जिंदगी में आप एक एक्टर हो और आपकी जिंदगी में वो सिर्फ एक एक्टर है। और एनर्जी फील्ड किसका है? जहां से ये पूरी की पूरी कथा बन रही है, वो कथा आपकी ऊर्जा से बन रही है आपकी लाइफ में। उसकी लाइफ में उसकी कोई और कथा बन रही है, हम उसकी तो बात ही नहीं करेंगे। वो आपकी लाइफ में आया और उसने आपकी लाइफ में प्ले किया, एक रोल को प्ले किया। इसका मतलब कि आपकी ऊर्जा, और हमको ऊर्जा कैसे पहचान में आएगी? सिर्फ यही सोचते हुए कि ये जो ऊर्जा है, जो हमारी ऊर्जा है, वहां से सब कुछ खेला बनता है बाहर। जो बन गया वो बन गया। इस वक्त पे आप बैठ के और अपनी ऊर्जा, हर्ट की ऊर्जा को रिलीज करिए। मेरा हर्ट के ऊपर भी वेबिनार है, उसको देखिए। जजमेंट्स जो हैं, कौन कौन से जजमेंट्स हम लेके बैठते हैं फिर वो मैनिफेस्ट होते हैं, उसके ऊपर जो वेबिनार है उसको देखिए। वहां से आपको जवाब मिलेंगे, करना चाहिए या क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। मैं कहती हूँ कि अपने आप से जो होता जाएगा वही सही। आप उसकी कंप्लेंट कर देंगे। अभी आपने चिट्ठी बना ली बहुत बड़ी, और वो आप चिट्ठी उसको, जिसके अंदर आपने सब समझाया हुआ है, आप सब कुछ जाके उसको दे देंगे। कौन सी फ्रीक्वेंसी में?
हर्ट की फ्रीक्वेंसी में।
बस, तो फिर बनेगा क्या? और तो बनेगा क्या? और
हर्ट बनेगा।
हाँ, तो वही चाहिए क्या?
नहीं।
बस फिर तो उसके बाद जब ये हर्ट रिलीज हो जाए तो उसके बाद क्वेश्चन ये आ जाता है, अब दिया, वो लेटर दिया तो भी क्या, और नहीं दिया तो भी क्या। अगर दिया तो भी क्या और नहीं दिया तो भी क्या, मैं नहीं मेरे को अभी भी बुरा लग रहा है, क्योंकि ये तो देना जरूरी है, नहीं तो ऐसा लोगों के साथ होगा। इसका मतलब फिर से क्या, काम पूरी तरीके से नहीं
वापस
हुआ है,
वो
फिर से
हाँ
हर्ट का घेरा घूम रहा है,
उसी सर्कल में घूमते रहेंगे I
उसी
think. हाँ
सर्कल में घूम रहा है। जब
हम्म,
हम उस सर्कल को देख पाएंगे बार बार, अपना हर्ट बार बार उसी का शुक्राना किया, अरे ये तो हम इतना हर्ट लेके बैठे हुए थे, और इतने फिर क्या है ना, एक और हमारा टूल है जिसमें डीपर रिलीज टूल है, वो जिसके अंदर बैठ के आप पुरानी जगहों पे भी जितना आपके साथ हर्ट हुआ हो, मेरा इसके अंदर भी वेबिनार के अंदर भी एक पुरानी जगहों पे जा जाके और उनकी फ्रीक्वेंसीज चेंज करने का एक वेबिनार है, और एक्सपेक्ट मिरेकल्स में भी एक डीपर रिलीज टूल है। कोई भी टूल करके आप जहां पे पुरानी जगहों पे आपको फील हुआ है हर्ट, उसको भी निकालिए, क्योंकि इतना सारा आपने अगर हर्ट भर रखा है तो जरूर और 4-5 चीजें हो रखी होंगी जहां पे आपने वो हर्ट इकट्ठा किया यहाँ पर। तो उस हर्ट को भी निकालिए, हर जगह से हर्ट को निकालिए, और उसके बाद जब आप शांति से बैठे हुए हैं, उसके बाद आपके जो मर्जी में आए करें। मैं पता है कैसे डिसाइड करती हूँ, जब मैं एक बार शांति में आ जाती हूँ ना, तो मैं कैसे डिसाइड करती हूँ, क्योंकि अब मैं कहती हूँ मुझे कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता, अब किया तो भी क्या, अब नहीं किया तो भी क्या। तो मैं मणि को कहती हूँ, मणि चलो, मैं ना टॉस कर लेती हूँ, मैं ना कॉइन टॉस कर लेती हूँ, और कॉइन टॉस पे जो आएगा वो आप मुझे बोल रहे हो, वो आप मुझे बोल रहे हो। और मैं बस 4 बार कॉइन टॉस करना, एक ही बार कॉइन टॉस, लेकिन जब कॉइन का सिक्का ऊपर जा रहा है ना, तो एक बार फिर मैं दिल में टटोल लेती हूँ कि मैं सिक्के से कुछ आशा कर रही हूँ क्या, कि ये होना चाहिए, या हेड्स आ जाए या टेल्स आ जाए। अगर मेरे को हेड्स या टेल्स चाहिए, इसका मतलब फिर काम खुद पे आया है,
करना है
काम
हाँ
हुआ नहीं है। ओके,
एग्जैक्टली
फिर से हमारी ये कि हम जब चिट्ठी लिखेंगे तो हम हर्ट से बाहर आएंगे। हर्ट से बाहर आने का एक ही तरीका है, अपने हर्ट को देखो और उसको रिलीज कर दो। हर्ट इज योर फ्रीक्वेंसी। उसकी चिट्ठी लिखने, उसकी चिट्ठी नहीं लिखने, उसको देने, उसको नहीं देने से आपके मैनिफेस्टेशंस उस तरफ से जो आए हैं, वो मैनिफेस्टेशंस खत्म नहीं होंगे। ये वाला मैनिफेस्ट हुआ है आपकी ऊर्जा से, उस ऊर्जा को बदलिए। उसके बाद आप भी सिक्का उछाल लीजिएगा। मैं तो सारे काम ऐसे ना सिक्के पे छोड़ देती हूँ इतने, मतलब कोई मुझसे पैसे मांगने के लिए आता है, मुझे 20 लाख की जरूरत है, समथिंग समथिंग, अगर बाई चांस उस टाइम पे मेरे पास 20 लाख होते हैं, तो मैं कहती हूँ मणि जिसको देना है कि नहीं देना। अभी किसी ने बोला कि वो रिलीजियस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे ऐसे दो वैसे दो, गुड कर्मा। मेरे लिए तो कोई गुड कर्मा है ही नहीं ना, ये तो पैसा है, इधर जाएगा उधर जाएगा। तो मैं कहती हूँ मणि जी आपने वो कहाँ डालेगा, वो बिजनेस में डालेगा, वो लुटाएगा, वो डुबाएगा, वो क्या करेगा उसका, मुझे उससे कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है। इट्स नॉट टू डू विद मी। मैं तो सीधा सिक्का उछालती हूँ, मणि जी आपको जो पसंद वो आप मुझे बता दो, और जो भी उसका नतीजा होता है बस उस हिसाब से कर देते हैं। दिमाग लगाने का ही नहीं है, गो विद द फ्लो।
यस 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 आई गॉट इट।
तो लेकिन जो फ्रीक्वेंसी है वहां पे, उस पे नजर रख रखी है, दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू। उंगली बाहर से अंदर की तरफ जब तक नहीं आएगी, तो तुम अपने हर्ट को ही और उबालती चली जाओगी,
राइट।
और वहां पे चैन नहीं आएगा। वो चिट्ठी दे दोगी, फिर वहां पे कुछ और होगा, क्योंकि फ्रीक्वेंसी तो अभी भी हर्ट की है, और हर्ट करेंगे। तो इसलिए पहले हर्ट की फ्रीक्वेंसी को निकालते हैं।
थैंक यू सो मच।
लवली।
I was waiting for you yesterday also. मैं कल आपके लिए वेट कर रही थी, पर आप हमारे रूम में आए नहीं। I mean,
आप
I
अपने
think
गाइड्स
skip
को
हो
पूछ
गया।
लेते, आपके गाइड्स आपको
नहीं
यही जवाब देने वाले थे।
नहीं, she told me, she did talk to me about that, but then yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Wonderful. Okay, everybody, we are at 6:40 now. I've been speaking non-stop, and this is just, I tell people, मेरा गला भी आजकल पिछले 15 दिन से इतना खराब है, इतना दर्द कर रहा है। आज चलो जी 1.5 घंटे का सेशन, शाबाश पुत्र। All right, everybody. So आज का मेडिटेशन बहुत ही छोटा, सिर्फ मेडिटेशन करवा दो। हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया। आज का साइलेंट मेडिटेशन अब करते हुए, क्योंकि अब हम और नहीं ना बोलने वाले। तो एक लंबी सांस अंदर, एंड साइलेंस। साइलेंस, एकदम साइलेंस, शांत। मन के सारे विचार शांत। अपने आप से मन में बोलो शांत शांत शांत, मैं शांत। इस क्षण में सिर्फ शांति की फ्रीक्वेंसी, इस क्षण में सिर्फ शांति। और इस क्षण जो तू 1 सेकंड भी शांति महसूस हो जाए तो समझ जाए सारे पुराने कर्म इस क्षण में मैं मीनल से ऊर्जा लेता हूं, मैं मीनल की ऊर्जा में हूं। I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. I am Meenal. I am Meenal. Whatever karmas were accumulated for that name, for that frequency, you are no longer that. In this moment, you are the frequency of Meenal. And in Meenal's frequency, all the karmas are of abundance. All the karmas are of joy. All the karmas are simply of the flow. And in this moment, you are flowing. You are Meenal. You are flowing. As easy as that to shed that karma, as easy as that to pick up silence. Om, Om, Om. Let Om vibrate in you for a little bit more. All right, everybody. Lots and lots of love. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.